Hi guys, this is LT Survival. Well, green screen. We'll try to use it, see what we can do with that. At least it covers the mess on the background. So again, in the home studio, in my office. So this way I can shoot some more instructive video. In today's video, it's the second chapter of the survival. This time we'll see a second acronym that's going to be very useful when you apply the first one. So stay tuned. If you're interested, we'll be right back. Well, first, let's start with a small review of the first acronym, which was STOP. Stop, think, observe, and plan. Very simple acronym we use with the cadets. I often make plastic reminder cards for them with the acronym on it, because when you're stressed out, your memory usually is flunk. So to be able to fall back to something, you put that in your wallet, in your first aid kit, or your survival kit, or your pack, and you go by it after. You can even punch it and hang it on your whistle and on a lanyard, so that way you always have these cards with you. It's an inexpensive way of keep reminding yourself of something. In today's acronym, succeeding to the stop at the end, we had plan. So stop, think, observe, and then plan. In the plan, we can insert another acronym, which is basically the same as we just said. The P standard for plan, which will use the plan M, which is a more complete acronym. Plan M stands for protection, location, acquisition, navigation, and medical. The M standing for medical. So P, protection, L, location, A, acquisition, and navigation, and the M for medical. I'm going to make it brief because I don't want to spend too much time. So I don't want to make 20 minutes video on simple acronyms. So we'll see further down the road how we can apply those. So protection. First, your protection is from the environment, because if you apply the rules of 3, you don't have very much time with the environment. Hypothermia and everything, if it's in winter, it's very deadly. So you got to be quick with the protection. The first layers of protection you have is what you have on you, the clothing. If your clothing is inadequate for the weather, you got to improve it by any means necessary. You got to find shelter, make fire. That is part of protection. So you've got to find clothing, you've got to put it on, build a shelter, build a fire, and warm yourself up. You got to protect yourself also from the wind, from the cold, from the water, from all the environment part. So it's very important, very crucial step in your planning. Protection is by far the most important part of your survival. Always packing a next layer, a shirt, a jacket, a sweater, so that way you have more protection when need be. And having a tarp or even a plastic bag would be an asset in your survival. So it's always in the planning that you carry with you as much protection as possible. Location. There's two things in the location. You want to be seen, but you want to be able to signal also, so that's being seen. But you don't want to be exposed either, coming back to protection. So the wind, water, you got to get away from those, and the location is often key to that. You want to have also resources. You don't want to be in the middle of the field in the wind with no resources around you. So sometimes you'll have to move, and you'll have to compromise in between being protected and having a good location to signal. Acquisition, well, that's where water, food, resources, fixing your equipment with those resources will be. Sometimes you'll have, if you have a broken leg, you might be able to at least do something temporary for fixing your leg, so that you can move to a better location or to gain protection. So water being the principal part of the resources you want to have them. You can only go 3 days without water, and you want to be close to some source of water. Also, the acquisition is your resources. You have to have woods to make your fire, to maintain your fire, to keep yourself warm. So it's always a compromise in between location, protection, and acquisition. Can you acquire stuff easily or not? If you're not acquiring stuff easily, well, you might not be at the proper location, or you might have good protection but not the location. So you've got to find a way of doing it. And in the plan, N will stand for navigation. Obviously, you want to get out of there. If you cannot signal people to come to you, you might have to take the decision to navigate your way out. Can you fix yourself where you are? Can you decide how you're going to rejoin either civilization or your friend or your troop, because you can be in the military and use the same. These acronym has been built for the military, so you got to get out of there. So danger might be too close, so you have to get out. I'll take some sip of coffee. Okay, and finally M. Before you can navigate, before you can move, sometimes you'll have to apply medical care. If you're in a combat zone, you gotta protect yourself, so you gotta hide, then fix yourself, because a blood trail, well, if you have trackers, some people can follow blood trails and find you. So you gotta apply your medical knowledge, and you gotta fix yourself. So you got a broken leg from a crash of something, then you're gonna amend that broken leg and be able to move around with it or to work with it, which might be very difficult. It all comes back to the beginning of all of that, because if you didn't do anything before leaving, flight plans, where you're going to go, what you're going to do, when you should be coming back, and everything. You might have the best plan and you might have all the resources available, but if you're there for 3 months, might not be good enough to make it out. So everything is going to be set in motion before you end up in the situation. So again, these are tools, and there's many acronyms for cold weather. There's COLD, which is an acronym. Clean, avoid overeating, loose clothing and layers, and stay dry, which is basically another acronym for the winter. There is also the rules of threes. There's the 5 C's or 10 C's as a survival kits. There's all kinds of it. So you've got to be careful. You've got to plan. You've got to train first to be able to respond to the emergency. If you have no first aid treatment, amending a broken leg might be very difficult. A cut, as simple as a cut, which arrives If you don't know what to do, you might just bleed out. So it's important to get the proper training before you even think of getting into the woods. And then if you get lost, well, it's unfortunate, but then you'll be able to apply at least some training. So this is a quick and dirty look at this acronym. I'll probably do a longer video about this well, not just this acronym, but the application of stop and plan, and try to figure out how are we coming about for each of them. So if you like this video, please give it the thumbs up, share and subscribe, and we'll see you back in the next video.